What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Spooky Screen. Today we have a very special episode, the season finale of Season 2, Yellowjackets, the Showtime original series, which we've been reviewing. This is the second season we reviewed. If you haven't seen any of our previous episodes, go back and check it out on the channel. This is episode 9. And this is a big deal for us because we have had a lot of interesting opinions, if you haven't been keeping up with us. And we're really excited to talk about this episode right here, the kind of culmination of the season. Before I do, I want to introduce my co-hosts, Dave, Nick, Noah, and Steven, who will be going through this, telling me what they think, whether they liked or disliked it. And then at the end, we're going to take a little vote, whether we're going to watch season 3. Before we get into a recap, let's just take a second, everyone, to like the video, subscribe, and comment what you thought about this episode. And spoiler alerts are ahead. So with that, Noah, can you give us a quick recap of what happened in episode 9 of season 2?
Yes, episode 9, titled Storytelling. We will start in the past, where Javi is dead. They eat him. We will go to the future, where Lottie's plan to poison one of them for the sake of the wilderness is cut very short, but they still decide to go with the ritual. Shauna draws the queen. They try to kill her, but Callie, her daughter, comes and protects Shauna. And then, second Mexican standoff, Lisa, Goldfish Bowl girl that Natalie was befriending, comes out again with a gun to protect, Lottie. And Misty comes to kill Goldfish girl. Natalie jumps in the way. Natalie is killed by Misty accidentally. Back to the past, Coach Ben. Natalie becomes the Antler Queen because Lottie deems it so, and Coach Ben sets the cabin on fire.
Let it be known.
Let it be known. And the setup for season 3 is Natalie's dead. Shauna is not going to jail. Van and Thais are just hanging out. And Misty regrets killing Natalie.
I want to go through a like and dislike session, but let's all see where we stand together. Thumbs up if we liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. On the count of 3, show me what you got. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count. That's 5 dislikes. That does activate our spooky screen protocol, so we will be doing the vote to decide on season 3, which, there's only 5 seasons supposedly, so will we watch it or not? Stay tuned. Dave, I want to go with you first. Tell me very succinctly. Only 5.
Yeah, only 5. Short 5 seasons.
Only 3 more seasons of this, which we clearly are not liking, right? So, Dave, what did you like and dislike about episode 9? You have 4 seconds.
What I liked was that it's done, and then we can move on to greener pastures. No, but to be serious, I did like the symbolism of the tortured character of Natalie. Kind of, she's been running from her death, so to speak, and then the last scene where she's like, "You always been here." So I thought that was kind of nice, but somewhat ultimately impactful, just kind of because of the way it happened and because we're still dealing with the past. But ultimately, I think the thing that aggravated me the most about this season finale is for the whole season, they have been setting up a will they, won't they, Shauna go to jail and like her whole life get exploded in front of her. And dodging the cops and all these a large majority of the episodes have been centered around this plot point of Shauna hiding the secret and the cops going after her and involving her daughter and Jeff and everything. And for it to just be wrapped up by a side character like Walter, I know we all like Walter. I know his eccentricities are like fun and he's like a kooky character, but for all of that to get wrapped up in like a scene or half of a scene was just really disrespectful, I felt, to us as the viewers.
Just drop the mic.
It's just like, and for him, so he poisons Kevin Tan, the cop, and then when Kevin, or when what's his name? what's the cop, the partner's name?
Syracuse.
When he finds
Mustachio.
Mustachio, Senor Mustachio.
Luigi
Walter
over
opens
here.
the trunk and he's like, "Here's your dead partner," and then he shoots him with a gun. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, BT Dubs, I have all the evidence pointing towards Kevin that he was the murderer of Adam," and the partner doesn't like question it or anything, and the scene's done. Shauna's free, scot free.
And Jeff is just like chilling.
Yeah,
watching.
Jeff is chilling behind a bush, like,
He's like,
score, crazy dude.
nice.
Thanks, Frodo Baggins. You really grabbed the bag on that one. And it's so frustrating because you spend so much time with this point, which is so emblematic of the season and the show overall. Of what we keep bringing up is they introduce these points of tension that they could carry over through seasons, but they have such a anxiety to tie it off and finish it up. And when they do it, it's not satisfactory. It's just like they just tie it off because they don't know what to do with it anymore. And they're like, all right, she's free. Let's move on to the next thing. Come on, let's go.
Well, I think, David, I think your point too is that there's this huge buildup, and then the conclusion is like a spark, and it's done.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can't do that. You can't spend 8 episodes building something up and then not resolving it with more than one episode. Like it needs more than an episode to do.
Yeah.
So, Natalie, you enjoyed.
I thought
Anyway, your dislike is more important to me at this point, David. Okay, frustrating because of Shauna's bad plot line, and we think we all agree you can't take 8 episodes to introduce this idea and then let it fall on its face. Steven, tell me what you thought about episode 9.
There was one moment that I liked, so I'll start out with the rose, but it's a quite small rose. It's where Shauna leans into Lottie when she's about to be committed, and she kind of casually tells her, there's no it. And it here means the evil entity, the malevolent spirits of the forest. And I think that was a good reminder to the audience. It was a good piece of writing, actually, where it serves as a reminder to us that the show is not about an evil supernatural force. It's about the trauma, the emotional damage that these women have inflicted upon each other in the past and how that carries on generationally from one to the next. The rest of the episode left a lot to be desired. And I think if I had to sum it up in one word, it's disjointed. The writing is disjointed. The acting is stellar, but the writing isn't. And there's just so many different things that took me out of the experience of watching this episode. There were moments that just didn't feel earned, that didn't land its punches, that didn't have the effect that it wanted to have on the audience. And it just left me with more questions than answers and more dissatisfaction than satisfaction. So that's my take. I'm happy to go into specifics, but
yeah. I just felt like too, when we were talking about it before, the one thing I really appreciated you saying was that the hot cocoa poisoning was lame. I loved that.
Yeah, I think it's just really so tropey. It's just that's a great example. It's just so
hot cocoa, officer.
How many times have we seen it in movies where it's like, here's a drink, sir?
Yeah. How many times have you walked into a new place and just accepted a drink within 1 minute?
It's just lazy, and that's what it is. You can come up with way more creative ways to tell those sort of moments to help piece together the narrative of the episode, but to rely on this, I don't know, decades old trope of like sipping on a drink offered by someone with malevolent intent. It's just not it. We've been there. We've seen this already. And it's just not, it's not fun. It's not interesting. So it's very
lame.
symbolic. It's very symbolic of my issues with the episode and
emblematic. Yeah. So Nick,
and metaphoric
and
symbolic.
How many icks do we got? What are they all? Give me all your icks, Nick.
I'm gonna throw an ing and encapsulating.
Oh,
so there you go.
God, I gotta look that one up after. Nick, give me what your thoughts are on episode 9.
So I'll break this down into my likes or dislikes for the past and the present. For the past, there was a lot I didn't like, such as the girls didn't seem to be in any inherent danger for the need of starvation and go crazy. So the fact that when Van talks to Travis about saying that Javi sacrificed himself for you, so just enjoy your life, like it just seemed they went off the deep end, but it just didn't feel earned. I don't like that Travis didn't have any time to grieve Javi before he was made to eat him, and he just went along with it, as opposed to Jackie or Shauna got time to grieve Jackie. She got, I think, what you said earlier, 2-3 months. She got time to grieve Jackie. Meanwhile, Travis got like an hour. They were just like, oh yeah, that's your brother. Now eat him. The one thing that I did like in the past, the only thing, is the fact that Coach Ben saw that these girls are nuts. He was like, bitches be crazy, I'm going to set them on fire. And that's narratively, logically, the only thing that made sense in the past. In terms of the present, I really did like that Lottie's storyline was coming together a bit more, but it was just a little too little, it was too little too late. But I also did appreciate that Natalie kind of made the choice to sacrifice herself because, like David said, thematically, narratively, for me personally, it felt like because she was supposed to die in the past and she kind of escaped death, but now she's made the choice consciously because she kept trying to run away from it all this time, whether it be through drugs or whatever other issues in her life. Now she willingly made the sacrificial play. She willingly laid down her life. She went out on her terms, more or less. But what I really didn't like, also, like everyone's been saying, the whole cop storyline with Shauna just got thrown away. And I would say in one scene, and because it was really two scenes, but it was like 5 minutes of one and 5 minutes of another. It was just so ridiculous, so ham-fisted and thrown away. And I don't like the idea that Lottie seems to think that, or seems to confirm or insinuate that Callie, the most boring character this show has to offer, is now the Antler Queen. They're just like, oh,
she's very powerful, Nick. She's powerful.
Yeah, powerfully insignificant.
I'll tell you something. Her eyebrow stylist is powerful.
The last thing I will say,
doing her eyebrows in the show really beefed them up like hard.
The last thing I will say is just my feelings on Lisa. I'm not sure how to word this correctly, but she is
Goldfish Girl.
Yeah, she is either the most insignificantly significant character or the most significant insignificant character. I'm not sure which.
Say it 5 times fast.
Like she's the most. Like she's so. They're like commit to one or the other. Either she matters or she doesn't. Don't put her in scenes if she doesn't matter, or don't put her
especially
in
with a shotgun. So that was weird. Like she just rolls up with a 12 gauge in the woods. Like what? How?
Yeah, and no one heard this coming. No one heard somebody running.
Thanks, Nick. I think that all makes sense. You disliked most of the past except for Ben, who did have some great points there about killing the girls. And then in the present, you thought Lottie was coming together. Natalie had a choice. Kevin's death in the Shauna timeline made no sense. And Callie is boring. Which, her character is kind of boring. Like, they're trying to make her interesting, but she's a teenager who's being pulled into an adult timeline. Like, they're trying to set her up as, like, a teenager from this past timeline, but she's all with adults. So it's like, it just doesn't
gel.
So, Noah, what are your thoughts? Episode 9.
Yes, episode 9. I disliked episode 9, and if you've been watching, I've disliked every episode of season 2.
Say it again.
I will say, I really, really love half this show. I wish that, and I know that Yellowjackets fans, true Yellowjackets fans, are going to throw tomatoes at me, but I love the wilderness timeline. I love the past timeline, and I wish this TV series was just that, because I think the past is compelling. I think it's nice and twisty. I think it's suspenseful. It's everything that I want in a TV show, but it's spoiled by this future timeline that I still don't think justifies its existence. And episode 9 again proved that to me. It just feels like they don't know where they're going. Like maybe in the first season, this future idea was a novelty, and they had more ideas the writers had more ideas of what to do with it and make it more entwined with the past. But this whole second season was just like, it just felt like they were just going in circles so that the past timeline could do what it's doing, like shine. It was like the backup dancers for the star to shine. and the backup dancers are just not that great anymore. As everyone said, Shauna's most of the future timeline was devoted to Shauna, and that just gets resolved. And Lottie ends up where she began in the crazy house.
Mm-hmm.
Van and Thaisa are at a standstill, I guess. Nothing really.
Yeah.
It just seems like the future doesn't really care about them. They have lives, but it doesn't really matter. Like her child and her wife are just kind of like, they don't need to include them because they don't matter. And
even though they were a part of the plot for the whole first season.
Yeah, and Misty's just an agent of chaos. Like, it just feels like the future does not justify its existence, and it ruins a really good show that I really, really enjoy. Like, I like that Natalie, it was a twist that Natalie was the Antler Queen, but then they kill Natalie in the future. So now I have everything that happens now in the past for Natalie is tainted for me, because I know she dies. It's just like, just stop it.
Season 1,
yes,
I would say fundamentally felt like a story about the wilderness with support from the future.
Yes.
I would argue season 2 felt like a story about the future with support from the past. And I think this finale was the proof of that, because the punchline of this show, specifically this episode, was the future timeline. And the past was kind of an amplifier for it. Where I think what you're saying is they really should have if they're going to keep this dynamic up, they should be focused on the past. If not, just cut the whole future and redo the show as an entire past show, which I think would be much better, much more interesting to the viewers, because that's the gritty stuff. Like that's the crazy stuff that you can't predict, right? Like, how are you going to survive? What's going to happen? So you heard it here first, guys. Cut the future. Yeah, per Noah. And you know what? Pay the writers what they deserve, okay? Just not the ones for this show. Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. You guys worked really hard.
Canceled.
Do you know what? Do better, writers. Then I'll almost anything. We just watched the season. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I will watch the Succession finale.
Are you caught up? Are you all caught up?
I'm in 3. I'm in season 3.
Oh my god, yeah.
So you know what? You got some competition this weekend. Yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway, so I disliked it. A lot of the same reasons. I thought this episode they were trying to something cheeky. I didn't like some of the scene cuts. It felt very different. I didn't like the convergence of all the characters in one place, because it didn't feel like they really delivered a punch if they're going to do that. Like, every single character in the future timeline was in one place. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like the acting and the cinematography of the show has been fairly strong the whole time.
Yeah.
I think it's just this duality of the plot issue and kind of the way they deliver really important information. Sometimes they either treat it way too importantly and fester on it.
Yeah.
They either drop it like a hot potato, or they just ignore it and it goes away. And you're just like, like Thaisa, the end of one of the episodes, I forget if it was season 1, was Thaisa crashing the car. Or was that earlier in this season?
Season 2.
That was this season.
That was this season.
That was the whole punchline of the episode, and her wife. And then we haven't heard a single thing for 6 episodes. So it just doesn't make any sense. And I think so. The one thing I did kind of enjoy, though, that I would be the only thing that would keep me interested in the show right now, is I think Misty is still really interesting. I think Misty in the past and in the future. Misty has the potential to make the show interesting in the future, and I think could kind of bring some type of chaos into it that could be fun. And in the past, I'm interested to see how she kind of maneuvers Lottie and Natalie, just like she's been doing. And maybe she is the genesis for all the homicidal energy. I don't really know, but that's a very low stake for me here. So with that, I think does anyone have anything else they want to say and get off their chest before we vote our way into history here? Okay, Nick, you had your hand up. Yep, that's a great point, Nick. Thank you. He's just
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, I gotta recover from that.
Oh wait, I was muted. Oh crap. So I'm just gonna play off the joke that Johnny said that this is a CW show, but Arrow did this way better, and that was a CW show. That's all I'm gonna say. They had a dual timeline with past and present, and they were the better CW show that did it.
I wonder if those writers are available.
John,
Hire Mark Guggenheim.
absolutely.
Oh, I forgot. There's a
Slight-
writer's strike. They're
slight
not.
with
No
the-
one's available.
Yeah, no one's
No one's
available.
available. Okay, no one's available. Well, that means they have a lot of time to improve the script. What else are they doing?
Had to
What, are they
do
on
it.
vacation?
Could do a lot of cutting.
They should start
cutting.
taking fan submissions.
You're too
for
scared of the cabal of writers. They're not going to get you.
The dark cabal
There's
of
no-
writers.
Steven, don't worry. There is no it. Don't worry.
It's just us, Steven.
It's just us.
Oh my god.
And the dark cabal.
All right, so Spooky Screen Protocol has been initiated. We're going to do a vote. How our vote works is that if we all agree unanimously, we will determine our fate, which is whether we will or will not continue watching the show Yellowjackets in season 3. I'm interested to see what you guys say because this is not predetermined. I have no idea what everyone's going to say. And so how it will work was a thumbs up will mean that I do want to watch season 3. A thumbs down means I do not. Do we want a unanimous or do we want to change the protocol to a majority?
Majority, simple majority.
All right,
Decides.
simple majority,
Yeah.
3 out of 2.
It's more
Okay,
fun.
we need 3 out of 2.
You mean 3 out of 5?
3 out of 2 equals 5.
Johnny has broken the laws of nature.
It's the dark
Wilderness,
cabal
baby.
again.
Great. 3.
I'm
out
on
of 2.
strike. I'm on strike from the laws of nature.
I am
okay?
God.
I'm on strike. So
The dark
everyone
cabal strikes again.
close your eyes. All right, when I say open your eyes, everyone open. 1, 2, 3, open.
wow.
Hey, you guys
Took it out of the
want-
back and shot it.
I don't know why you guys want to continue this abusive relationship that you obviously don't notice.
man.
Because the people love it. The people
Morbid
love it.
curiosity. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't have enough faith in the creators to do that.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll be honest. This was hard to get through at the end. The end of the season. I really didn't feel up to watching these episodes.
Yeah. Me too.
The morbid curiosity was there at the end of season 1 because you still had a little bit of faith, but we've gone through 2 seasons of this, and that goodwill has run its course after the second episode.
Yeah, I voted it down. You know, I always like to entertain these things, but there's only so much precious watching time people have nowadays. There's so much content fighting for your time, and unless things prove themselves to be stellar, they've had 2 seasons to be stellar. Okay, right? Like I think other shows have proven it after much less time, and it's not fair to ask people to suspend disbelief to. And I know I'm speaking as someone who dislikes it. There's people who think this is a great show, and they would argue with all the points we've said tonight. And I'm not discounting them, but for us, I think this is not the type of show that was going to draw this group in. So, you know, that's the end of our Yellowjackets journey for now. For now, or is this a red herring and we're going to do it? We don't know.
We can say that, we're going to be done watching it, but, stick around. Maybe we'll watch a short of season 3. Maybe we'll release a short of season 3, episode 1, and maybe that could transform into doing reviews for the show again. You never know.
Oh, Nick's leaving that door open.
I'm willing to leave the door open, but we're
What
done.
are you changing your vote? The
No,
vote
because
was
we're
cast.
done. We're done.
Revote.
But if I see a review of season 4, episode 7, that supernatural things
who's
happen.
Butch and who's Algor?
Johnny's like,
Right.
stop the count. Stop the count.
This Attack on Titans itself. Yeah, I might.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun recording, not the actual episode. So I want to thank my host again. If you enjoyed this video, or if you didn't enjoy it, still like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment about how much you liked or disliked our review and or the episode. We look forward to the feedback. And if you guys think we should do season 3, let us know, because maybe we can be convinced. Noah, if you have a secret surprise, please tell us.
Oh, yeah. So the next show that we plan to review is currently the worst reviewed show on any streaming platform, and that is
Go.
The Idol.
What platform is that on?
That is on
HBO,
the
isn't it?
used to be HBO Max.
No, it's just the
Max.
Max.
The channel formerly known as HBO Max.
All right. And with that, we're out. Thanks, YouTube.